Okay, but perhaps we'll try to start it up, and other ones we are joining. To begin with, very welcome all of you to this thematic interest group seminar in this series of seminars that are run by the Challenge Lab at the STARS EU Alliance. My name is Gunnar Peterson, for those who hasn't met me before, and I work at University West as senior advisor on internationalization, and also part of the steering committee when it comes to University West for this Alliance STARS EU. This is the 6th out of 7 of the planned seminars when it comes to the thematic interest groups. And it's this one will be on living spaces. I'm very interested and eager to hear more about what's has been emerged, because it's quite new as a thematic interest group, but as I understand, there's already quite a lot of things going, and also what's being planned and so on. But before we start this, I must inform you that this recording is this seminar is being recorded. So if you're unfamiliar or doesn't approve of you being recorded, because you could, if you're asking questions, if your presentation thing or doing questions, or you could be in the frame for some time. If you don't approve of that, you need to say this right away or leave the meeting. Otherwise, other ones will be recorded and part of the video of this seminar, which we are using in the Alliance to better understand the different things going on in the interest groups, and to on which level of development we are at the moment, and so on. The format of the seminar, it's similar to the other ones that we have had. If you're the first time that you're participating in this one, it's I'll just give a very short and brief information. It's a little bit about the background of the TIG, what is the reason why the TIG has developed, and the things that did happen before the TIG was actually being made and being a TIG. Which are the participants in the TIG, in the thematic interest groups? Are there participants from all of the partner alliances, partners in the alliance, or are they just in a few, or what's the status of that? And a little bit about the content, what are being done at the moment, which kind of activities are being made within the TIG, and also about the connections or relevance with the other TIGs and the other things going on in the Alliance. We have the regional development accelerator when it comes to the regional focus. We have the curriculum lab when it comes to development of the curricula of joint courses, degrees, and so on, but also have a lot of different TIGs that are, and could it be some interconnection with this TIG to others, like in digital transition, energy transition, healthy aging, or others. So if there's something about the relevance and the possibilities of interconnection on this TIG to the other TIGs or other groups or areas within the Alliance. And not least about which kind of planned actions, what do you want to do with the thematic interest group? What things are being planned? Are they initiatives? Are they applications? Are they development of different education? Or if there's, which kind of activities, which kind of things being planned? What's for the future for the thematic interest groups? And in the end, that we will have some sort of the possibility of making suggestions, asking questions, and having a conversation and some positive feedbacks on what best to do in the forthcoming weeks, months, and time ahead. So this is very much quite easy, quite simple setup about the background, the what's going on and are being at the moment, and also not least what's being planned and the connection between the TIG and other things outside the thematic interest group. So I'm very interested and eager to hear about this Living Spaces thematic interest group, what has been done and what is going on in this group. I don't know if is it Thomas that will be.
Yes, it's me. Gunnar, thank you very much for your introduction. I received an email from the committee, and this email introduced some questions. So we prepared a presentation in our last meeting, and I put down the questions in the presentation. So I would like to present it, and anytime my colleagues can make further comments to it, or you can ask questions if you think there's something we would like to discuss. And I'm just trying to load the presentation. Can you make me do a presentation? Yeah, okay, it's functioning. So do you see anything? No. I said, try it again. Window, living spaces. It will not take the window, I guess. No, it always takes my window here.
Yeah, it's fine. It was fine.
We could see it.
Yeah, we
you
did.
Could see it.
Yeah, we could see it. Then you left it. Now.
Okay. So
yeah,
hopefully
there you
see.
go.
Okay. The name of our TIG, as you mentioned, is Living Spaces, and choose this name when we started making an application for the German DID program. We applied for the international program, and since I'm working in the Department of Civil Engineering and a colleague of mine in the Architectural Engineering Department, we decided to name it Living Spaces. And all the fields you see around our dark blue living space these are the topics which we had in mind we can work on with students or make some research on it. So if some of you work in these areas, you're welcome to join our TIG, of course, because I think Living Spaces is a name which covers lots of problems which we are facing today and maybe also for the future. So there's a lot of potential that we also can work with other TIGs together, or people from other can join our TIG here and spread news and contents to our living spaces, or take part in some kind of programs we are starting right now. I will tell about the program in a few minutes. So when we started, few of our partners joined the first meeting and then decided not to join us anymore, and other people in. And the participants I showed you here, the leading team, of course, is made of persons here from the Hochschule Bremen, from the faculty Architecture, Civil and Engineering. And Braganza joined with 2 people, and these are the active partners, because I decided to put this name for the people who are coming in every TIG meeting and taking part in the program. I will explain in minutes. And also the Krakow University of Technology is now working with us, which I really enjoyed. The decision was just made in the last 2 meetings. And if all people join and take part, we are 7, 8, 9 people working in this TIG already. So the other partners, which I listed below here, attended once the meeting, but unfortunately we didn't know whether they still want to continue working on the subject or not. we will see later on. And we started in November last year, our first meeting, with the introduction of the people and what the subjects are they are working on and what kind of interests they have in this TIG. And then we continued. You see there's a little space March, but then we started to meet more often. And we decided in the last meetings that we should start working on some kind of problem with students, because research is not the main topic so far. So we decided to work with students that we get known to each other a little bit. And we have set up a project right now, and we decided to set up this project. We want to start a regular meeting every 2 weeks from now on till the summer break starts, so that we can start the project in the winter semester. And you ask about interaction and relevances. So far, we have no interaction. There's only one person, which is also taking part in the healthy aging TIG, but other things are not so far developed. So we have to see what comes out after we have started our project. But since the living spaces cover so many different fields, it might be easy for other people to join us and bring some good ideas. And what we have in mind now, we would like to start a big project with 3 schools, Bremen, Braganza, and Krakow so far decided to join this. And the topic we would like to work with the students are sustainability building concepts for residential buildings in different culture and climate regions in Europe. And we decided to put 4 units of lecture, 8 lecture units in this module, and students from the school should work in teams together. We will present the problem, and I will show you a picture what we have in mind right now. Since in Germany, many old houses have to be or let's say make climate residence. Oh, sorry. To become more energy efficient, and they are usually under historical monuments, so you cannot put some isolation in front of the walls, because the building has to retain the old face. So we wants to set the Bremer house, which I showed you here. There are some pictures of it. There's a drawing of such a house. We would like to take this house to different places in Europe, Braganza, for example, and Krakow. And we would like to analyze this house with the students and confront this with the different kind of regulations every country gives us to change or make this more economical in climate and energy transformation processes. And at last but not least, we have written down some questions and suggestions for the TIGs and the problems we are facing. And maybe you can take this along for the steering committee. One problem is that our partners which joined the meeting we didn't get a feedback from them, and we didn't know what happened to them, whether they want to join or not join. So we were thinking about an idea that people who attend a meeting should give a response about a certain deadline, whether they would like to attend or not attend for the meantime, maybe come back. So otherwise our mailing list will become longer and longer, and the people are not interested actually in working in the meantime. And what would be nice and helpful for us would be a database with the contact persons of the facilities, research laboratories or institutes which were working in these areas, so that we can start getting in contact with them. And another thing would be nice to have a database of practical partners we can ask for help or assistance, or ask them whether they want to join the we are studying. Maybe we should also feed this database with our partners, so that every TIG puts in data to these databases. Then we were thinking about the presentation of the TIG projects. Every TIG is doing some kind of work, and it would be nice if every TIG would be able to have a page on the website where we can take a look with pictures and outcomes, like multimedia. I wrote down multimedia interactive catalog, so everybody is used to use the mouse and click buttons to see what happens. I'm not thinking about the SharePoint of Hanse Groningen, because this seems to be more or less a database for putting stuff and documents there. Maybe one can also introduce some kind of catalog or web presentation of the TIGs. It's just an idea. And another thing would be nice to have is if there would be some templates we can use to present the project, so that we have a common format for it. So that every TIG report seems to be similar in the formattation and outlook and outcome. So that would be a consistent working area. Then the next point is the idea, how can we collect new ideas and partners? And we were thinking about a kind of central blackboard, maybe in the Hanse Groningen SharePoint, where, for example, the TIGs present a few lines of partners or ideas, and also research activities, maybe another blackboard where we can look what these activities are going on in our partner school or institutes, and then find out the persons and to enter a TIG, for example. And the last thing is, at least in Bremen, it is difficult to get some more time to work on all this STARS EU working process and contacts and BIPs, because we in Bremen, we have an 80-hour lecture period to cover, so there's not much time. We also had to do research, and it would be a good idea if the partner consortium is also working on some kind of structure where the professors or people who work in these TIGs and in the research areas and projects with these partners would have a regular time schedule which they can use in their regular work period at the universities. That would be nice, because otherwise it's for me, it's an add-on, it's a nice to have, but if I don't find time, I would rather skip STARS EU work and put my lectures here in front and do other projects which might be more confronted with. Hopefully you got this idea. It's not a blaming from me, but I would prefer that we have a structure in the university where every partner university says, you have 4 hours a day to work with STARS EU partners. That would be great. So far, that's the presentation from me. If you have questions, go ahead. Hopefully you got the main idea of our TIG and the work we are right now doing in these meetings to set up for the winter semester a project with 3 universities. That's the aim we have right now. So that's, from my point of view, everything.
Okay, thank you very much, Thomas. The interesting and very important issues that you raise in many senses, when it comes to participation, when it comes to initiatives, and also several good opinions on how to develop, how to further develop this. And I wonder if there are any comments or questions to Thomas, or are they from other participants in the TIG that want to add something at this point, for example, IPB or Krakow?
Well, I would like to say that Thomas did a good job, so everything is clear, and we are 100% with this project, and we look forward to get this first BIP running well. And of course, we'd like to have more things ready to present, but we are working on doing that. So in the future, we will present some more interesting activities for these living spaces TIG. Okay.
Thank you, Paolo. I totally agree. It was a really good and nice presentation by Thomas, and very important facts and issues that he raised here about the TIG and the development of the TIG. I do have some suggestions or thoughts or so, but I think I'll leave the floor open to begin with, if there's more and others that want to join in and comment on this.
Gunnar, can you answer some of my questions already? How is the steering committee working on these subjects I just mentioned and at the end of this my presentation here about these databases? I started in the second TIG meeting an Excel sheet and asked the persons to put in some of these data, mailing addresses, research interest, lecture periods, and stuff like this, because we don't know all this from our partners, and it would be nice to have an overview of all the schools. And it's not a good idea that every TIG starts it by itself.
No, I totally agree with you, Thomas, that we have been talking and discussing this, and we also, when you look upon the different others European university initiatives and so on, the how to going from individual to be more integrated, to work closely together, how to find connections and so on. My thought and proposal is that we need to make minor steps to have some successes, some progression in the connections in the work within the TIG or in the project to build on, because we can't make these large structures of a database consisting of all the competences from all the 9 universities in the alliance to find some matching. I think that we would need to start up and be on when we actually find that we have mutual interest, and if there are just 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 partners that we find persons, I think it's fine. We don't need all 9, and we can't cover all the possibilities in each university regardless. But it is something, this matchmaking or the knowledge and about each other and the possibilities when it comes to our priorities, our competencies or areas of expertise. We have been discussing this several times, not least within the Challenge Lab. That's the area for knowledge creation and research development within the STARS EU, and we need to do some kind of survey of the priorities and fields of expertise, at least, but it shouldn't be on individual basis. We need to have groups. We need to have priorities by each university on what they are doing and which kind of areas or centers they are putting up. We have started the collection. We have a very at the Tenerife conference in end of March, we discussed this thoroughly about there was the proposed by Technical University of Krakow that they had a system which they have developed that could be used for this purpose. So it's being addressed and monitored, but we can't go as quickly as we would like to in many senses. But we are really thinking and considering this and how to make this. But like I said earlier, I think that we need to build on small steps, small successes of connections and things that we actually see beneficial for each other. If we want to do a BIP, that's great, because then we get to know each other, get to know each other's systems and so on. Because they are, when it comes to the European University Initiative and building a European region and have integration between, there are challenges to address. There are many things about the transformation of credits, the accreditation of prior studies, the degrees, and different legal entities and so on. So there's a lot of, and that has also been experienced by the other European University Initiative alliances, that there are issues to address here. But we are trying to, but it's always good that we have this kind of discussion about what can we do, which steps to take, and then that we put the different issues on the table to look into, like you did. So yeah, there's some comments on that one from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I think about the database of contact persons, it would be an easy way that every TIG now just puts in their active partners now, and we start already filling up this database. And if I'm looking for somebody to talk to, it would be, I just can look in this database. I think it's a good idea, because we were looking for some contact in Krakow, and then I have to go to Heike, for example, ask there. She again asked the colleague in Krakow. So it might speed up this whole thing and makes it a little bit easier. I think if everybody's working on that, because every has to build a database about their partners, so it would be nice to have this in this whole SharePoint, let's say it this way, so that every TIG can use this database. I think about it in a steering committee. I think every TIG can fill it. We just need some kind of structure where to put this data, I guess. And what I really enjoy would be if we have partners, I guess, which are working on multimedia. Maybe they can start a project where they work on some kind of presentation in the web about our partners and projects in the STARS EU Alliance. That would be also a great idea. Well, just as suggestions to work on. I know everybody has a lot to do before the semester ends, and maybe then is a little time to do something else. But I think I can send you the presentation, and you can take it to the steering committee and talk about it. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Thomas. When it comes to the visual presentation on the web page, or presentation about the content that we are doing in different groups and thematic, we are planning. We had a presentation by the communication group last week, and it's we are working on it, but the thing is that it needs to be supported by fundings. We need to have people that have the time and the possibility to do what it's needed. And at this time, in many cases, we're waiting for the decision on June 30 about if we are funded as a European University Initiative or not.
Okay.
But yeah, it needs to be addressed regardless if we are funded by that or not. But the level and how developed depends a bit about the fundings.
Okay. Did you know anything about our French partner already? Since nobody has even started contacting us or something else, I don't know. Because I have a colleague which likes to get contact with this French school he told me that a few months ago. He is now in Denmark or in Sweden. I don't know. I just saw this name here and haven't been in contact with his school. Other schools already took part in this TIG and try to get informed what we are doing, so that's okay. But French people, maybe they are too freshmen.
I'm not updated on that one. I need to check with the persons at the French Comté about that or not. But we do that in collaboration, Heike, can't we? Check with the Manieke and the French about contact.
Gunnar, I see there are two people's
yeah.
raising hands. Maybe you should.
Yeah, we should. Helena was first and Lars go second. So Helena.
I'm working at University West, and when I'm listening, I get very curious about starting the TIG. Is it free for everyone to just collaborate and ask for members to work around the subject?
Yes, it is. You could start any TIG as long as we have you need to put the idea forward, and we need to look upon which kind of how broad and how narrow is their interest from several parties, and we could develop more and other TIGs than the one that we have at the moment, and that is not a closed thing. It could be more and could be others, so that's definitely a possibility.
But where to post my questions for colleagues to start to reflect and think about a theme to work with?
To begin with, I think you should need to do it internally, so that there will be more than one person or be several, and then I could assist you going further with others within the partners in the alliance.
Oh, that's good. Thank you very much, Gunnar.
Okay.
Lars, please.
Yeah. Must always remember to unmute. Thank you, Thomas, for an interesting presentation. And in many ways, your closing questions echoed a lot of the concerns that were raised in Tenerife, especially in the group of digital transition, which I took part in. And I think one of the ideas that we had in that meeting was that we must commit at each university to appoint at least 2 persons for each TIG that are kind of the liaison officers, and I think it's a brilliant idea to have it's not a complicated database. It's names, email addresses, more or less. So that I think would strengthen kind of the basic structure. And of course, as Gunnar is pointing out, we will have much more financial power in installing infrastructures for the Star Alliance should we get a positive result in little over a week. But I also think that we should have a plan B, because we have 9 vice chancellors that have signed a 10-year commitment for this network. So should we not get funded in this round by the European Union, I think we should via the steering committee turn ourselves to our vice chancellors and ask them for some kind of let's say minimum funding that could uphold a couple of percents for the people that take lead in all of the TIGs. I think that would be possible.
Yes, thank you, Lars. Thomas?
Yes, I would like just answer the question of Helena. She was telling us how to set up a TIG. If I have a good idea, that comes back to my what is it, the 6th line, where we write down new ideas and partners. And I think it's not a bad idea to think about a Blackboard and the SharePoint, where Helena could write down, I would like to start a TIG about blah, blah, blah. Who would like to join? And then everybody can answer, and she's writing down their email, she's writing their email address there, or we can have a data. Somebody can find out the email address and starts getting in contact with Helena. So I think this is a good way to start something. Otherwise, there's no way to start something if we are not connected already in a TIG. You see what I mean? There should be some kind of announcement where one can find something out. This is missing so far. Yeah. So I just want to make again focus on something where we can get in contact with each other by not knowing who is on the other end and what kind of ideas are waiting still. Yeah. This is the idea of this TIG Blackboard. Maybe it's a good idea to implement something on the SharePoint side, and maybe send this is every 4 weeks. Send an email with these comments, and everybody don't forget to look at the Blackboard. Maybe one has to try, I guess, some new methods.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yep.
You would like to comment as well.
Yeah, I have a quick comment.
Yes.
I think your idea is good, Thomas, but I don't necessarily think that the answer is always a new TIG. For me, finding new interesting ideas and thematics that could fit within an existing TIG or expand the borders of an existing TIG, maybe go cross TIG. I would love a project with healthy aging, living spaces, and digital transformation, for instance. So we don't get an explosion of TIGs, but in general, I agree with you. We need to have an arena where we could expose our ideas within the alliance, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Thomas and Lars, about that. We can't have 55 TIGs, perhaps, because we're not that large an alliance, and if we need to have some sort of direction and criteria for how many and which kind of lab TIGs that we are developing. But we could easily have more than the ones that we have, but it should be based on the competence and the interest and the specialities and prioritization made by the partner universities in the alliance. But we need to have some sort of arena for making this. And this TIG seminar was an initiative actually to make some of these interconnections between the TIGs, that you as a participant from Living Spaces watch on digital transition and watch on the healthy aging or energy transition, and see the possibilities of connections and projects and things to do in between or jointly between the different TIGs. As of now, as I'm aware, I haven't seen that much, because it's been very much about the content of each TIG, and not the cross connections and the interdisciplinary between the thematic groups. But that is also an issue that we could perhaps try to find some kind of solution. If it's an open Blackboard area or a joint area or whatever, I don't know, but we need to find this because even if our thematic groups are wide and are thematic and not disciplinary, it's still quite broad. Like you Thomas, you described the living space inside a box of quite a lot of different areas of studies and things that when I saw that picture, my first reflection is that if we are to find contacts or people interested or competence in all those, it's quite a large quite a lot of people from different areas, engineering, science, in digitalization, IT, computer science, yeah, quite a lot of different areas perhaps that so it will be quite a large database to set up if we are so that's why I'm trying to, yes, we need to get small steps of doing things together, but we should also try to find some way of connecting and by step developing and going further. But we can't take the large approach of having everything in place before we start to work together. I think that is at least my point. Now let's see, Maria.
Hi, thank you, Gunnar. I totally agree with you. I think though that we could start doing one of those steps, one of those small steps, because there's we've got 7 TIGs. That's right, isn't it? We haven't got 9, we've got 7 TIGs, 9 universities, 7 TIGs at the moment. And they're all working and there's all lots of ideas. And it would just interest me to know what the other TIGs are doing. Because it may be that we're doubling up on information or doubling up on our work. We could have put, it wouldn't ever work that easily, but we could maybe have put our bit in with another bit. And also the other thing is, I know the database is a good idea, but it's much more interesting when you put an idea out, maybe me as an architect out from an architectural point of view, and somebody from a TIG that I've never even dreamed of gets in touch and says, Maria, that's great. I would really like to look at it from this point of view. Can we do something? So I think this information, making this information very visual is incredibly important. And I do believe we could start doing it. Just a list of which activities each TIG is doing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Maria. The seminars was one initiative that we tried that we could, from different TIGs, could see what other TIGs are doing and get that, oh, I should perhaps get in contact with Felipe or Akaimo or Derek or whatever, because that it is what they are doing, what he knows is interesting for me. I don't think that it has worked out really, that not yet at least. So but all these, this being the 6th out of 7, they are made videos that you could watch in afterwards from the website, and if you have the time and possibility, you could look at them there, and also that we will need to find those connection possibilities and try to make it better along the way. But the seminars was one initiative to get to know each other better and finding possibilities across the TIGs.
I think that's it's a very good idea. I think the problem is that if you listen to all 7, that's at least 7 hours gone over different days, and you almost need, like many of us have, that's a bit over the top, but it flashes up on the screen while you're working that new emails come in or something. But I would probably go once a week, I would just go on the SharePoint and see what's being offered. That's a matter of probably 10 minutes. And then I can think, yes, no, oh gosh, that sounds interesting. with an email and you write, just to sort of get it moving a bit more. Just to, yeah, to make the time scale a bit smaller.
Yeah, that's great suggestion, Heike. I think that we should try to get this forward to the steering committee and discuss about how we could better support the initiatives of collaboration between the different TIGs and the different persons at the universities.
Yeah, I'll give you my time under AOB.
Yes, is there anybody else that has some comments, some thoughts about how to connect or develop the issues? There is what as we were speaking before on the when we had the prior TIG seminars, that we have a little bit of there's differences between the TIGs, how general or specific they are, meaning that like entrepreneurship that could be applied depending on how you define the entrepreneurship, could be implemented or connected to almost any. Digital transition could be integrated into almost any, and so on, but some are very specific. So there's a little bit of difference between the different TIGs. It may not be a bad thing, because it could be like that, no problem, but meaning that the possibilities of connection with some of the TIGs could be greater or more easily connected and more easily to interact with that TIG and others. So there's also one aspect of this.
I think what's also important, that if we had something on the SharePoint, whilst I thought the idea of having 2 people that per university that were responsible for the STARS AU, I could imagine that I would give the link to my colleagues at the beginning of, say, the summer semester, ready for the winter semester, and say, have a look at that. Maybe there's something online that's interesting. So you widen the field of people that can get involved as well at the same time. They don't have to sieve through lots of different meetings and information before they actually get where they want to get to.
I think that what we are describing in many senses is that we have what we have been discussing both at the conferences and in the different groups and in the steering group is that the practical issues, that we should have a one-stop connection at each university, a STARS EU officer that knows how to connect to both internally and externally, supported by some communication officer about how to distribute, how to get in contact, how to place the information and spread the information. Each university should have a STARS EU web page with the internal information in English and its native language, and information about what's going on, which kind of TIGs they're participating, what's happening, contact persons, which depending on the institute, the university and which priorities and so on. But we need to have support by administrative structures and possibilities when it comes to information and communication. But we are not there yet, depending on that. Due to the funding, it's each university that puts down their money to how much and what they are doing, and we're also trying to in a bit adopt to being part of the alliance. Some are very new, some have been around for a longer period of time and so on. But I think most are things, but not perhaps in detail, which was very good that you suggested, Thomas, has been thought of, but we haven't been able to solve them or have solutions for them yet. But we are thinking and planning, but it's very, very good to get some new input on what is the most important things.
Gunnar, you mentioned there will be one more TIG seminar. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
On
and what are the
September 12th, digital transition.
And you already have some topics. What will be discussed?
It will be the thematic interest group of digital transition that will talk about, because that thematic interest group has been rearranged with there's a new leader, the different participants within the group and so on. So it's France Comté that is taking the lead for this one. So they are planning and having meetings before, and on September 12th they will present on the status at that moment and their thoughts about planning and the future.
Okay.
And it will be at the same link for the Zoom seminars, the TIG seminars that were used for this one. So and after that, the challenge lab, we have contact persons from each university within the Alliance. We need to discuss the way forward of these kind of setups. What kind of support is needed for the TIGs? Which kind of initiatives? We have a suggestion of star talks, like TED talks about certain persons or certain groups, about giving interesting lectures or discussions on topics that they are interested in, that could be fitted within or without the different TIGs, but we have expertise at the different universities. That's one issue, but there could be more and others, but how to develop the connections and the knowledge of each other is really the base of the discussions to be made within the challenge lab afterwards.
Gunnar, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
I wonder if it's possible also for the students to take part. When we are working with the SIM, you know, the Certificate of International Merits, could it be a good way for our students also to be a part of this TIGs and listening and work together?
They are most welcome. It's not limited to anyone. It's supposed to be open. And I was hoping it should be more open than it has been, because it's been steering committee and some from different TIGs, but mostly the ones involved or interested in a certain TIG that's been participating. But it's open to all participants that would like to, regardless if they are students or teachers or researchers or whatever.
Then it's necessary to find ways to inform and make announcements in a good way, I think, because it's difficult to have the knowledge about this.
Yeah, I know. What we have done at University is West, that we put it into the calendar, and so it displays for the calendar on what's going on at the university on certain dates, and we have had some news, but not for each seminar and so on. But communication and information is always difficult to reach the right person at the right time. And so they are updated and aware of information, what is going on and so on. So yeah, I'm fully aware of that, Helena. Okay, anybody else that wants to add some comment or some questions, some words to us, me and Heike and the steering committee, or to the challenge lab leaders, me and Lars, or to anybody else?
Maybe a suggestion on my part. I like really that when Thomas prepared the presentation, really, he prepared the presentation replying to some questions that they were defined. And I think this is quite helpful for understanding what the TIGs are doing. And we were talking about this collaborative place where to see this kind of information, and I would follow a model like this. So I have experience in another kind of collaborations where each TIG or each group has an own website and so on, and it's too much confusing, too much information online. But if we make like a structure that Thomas used for organizing the presentation, and all the TIGs summarize their interests, what they are doing and so on in an organized manner, this can be very helpful for having an overview of what's happening. Now I was browsing the website, for example, of Stars U Alliance and the different TIGs, and you see they are running many different blended intensive programs and so on, but it's not so easy to find. But if we would have that on a screen, then you would have like impression of what's running on. So this would be now, after the discussion, a little bit my suggestion for trying to make this a little bit more clear for everybody.
Thank you, Philip. Really nice suggestion, and totally agree upon that. These basic questions for the TIGs before the seminar has been the same to all TIGs in advance. So the thought was that it should be, but then of course different TIGs, different persons have, based on what they are doing and not doing with prioritize and so on, made it perhaps a little bit different. But the basic has been the same. So then people or groups do different. But I totally agree with you. It should be a little bit, at least, in a similar way, so you could see the connections and possibilities between the different ones. So yes, thank you very much for that comment and suggestion. Okay, if there are no further comments or any other questions, I would like to thank you all for participating in the seminar. It's been, and not least Thomas, thank you for your presentation and for
welcome
update. It's been most interesting, and it's been very, very nice to hear, and very good that we could have this discussion with different points of view, and a lot of food for thought for us to how to proceed and how to develop this. So thank you very much, and I'll hope to see you soon, virtually or physically in the future, and have a nice summer if we don't see each other before.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
See you Thursday. See ya.
Bye.
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 Thank you so much. Bye.